We're learning more tonight about the man killed in a vicious swarming attack that shocked the region.
Police say Ken Lee was stabbed and beaten to death on December 18th by a group of teenage girls. CTV's Janice Golding is following this story and joins us with the update. Janice.
Hi, Michelle, Nathan. We're at Trinity Square Park right now, where on the second Tuesday of every month, advocates hold a memorial vigil for the homeless. And today, among the people remembered, a 59-year-old Toronto man who was allegedly swarmed last month.
On December 13th, a Jane Doe passed.
A dozen names were read out at the monthly homeless memorial outside Holy Trinity Church today.
Death of Ken Lee.
Among them, Ken Lee. A 59-year-old police allege was assaulted and stabbed by a group of teenage girls at York and University last month.
We need to remember that he was in the midst of trying to transition out of homelessness, but also that kind of hatred towards people who are homeless.
Police characterized Lee's death as a swarming which took place around 12:15 a.m. on December the 18th. 8 teenage girls between 13 and 16 were arrested nearby.
I think there's just so much hatred and dehumanization of people who are unhoused, and we see that enacted through acts of violence, including extreme violence like this case.
Lee was transported to hospital with life-threatening injuries and pronounced dead a short time later.
I felt about Ken much like I feel about every homeless death that I hear about, which is that could be me.
A lot of people are afraid out on the streets because so much violence and bad things happen out here.
On a GoFundMe page, Lee's family said, "We ensured that he knew we were always here for him and were waiting for him to return home. He wanted to resolve his issues independently, and we understood and respected his wishes."
There's a humanitarian crisis in this province, and these memorial services, it's a nice sign of respect, but really this is the government not taking action.
What sparked the attack is not clear, although witnesses told CTV News last month the dispute was over alcohol.
Stepped up to the aid of his friend who had some of her belongings taken that night, and that's consistent with what everybody I've talked to says about Kenny, that he was very kind.
On their GoFundMe page, family said Lee would help anyone in need and that he died a hero, adding, "This has destroyed our family and has completely devastated his elderly mother's heart. A mother should never have to bury her child. Ken Lee was a beloved son, brother, and uncle." Police say the girls allegedly responsible for this attack congregated downtown after meeting on social media. Their identities are protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Ken Lee is Toronto's 68th homicide victim of 2022. Reporting live, I'm Janice Golding. Back to Michelle and Nathan.